everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing Azorius Auras today, and we're really focusing around a common in this deck, which is quite funny. Never a new set that comes out that a common is going to be the focus of that deck. But we get Wonderweave Aerialist. I do not know what the paper version is off the top of my head right now, but this is a 2-drop 2/2 with Ward 2, which makes it very, very hard to remove in this deck, especially if we play this after we've played like a Scavenger on turn 1, into this on turn 2, and then we're Shelter by ghosting this here, so it goes immediately up to a Ward 4 creature, basically hexproof when it comes to standard. The only real out that our opponent could have is some uncounterable kind of cards like a Long Goodbye or an Inevitable Defeat or Nowhere to Run online, because obviously that all negates our Ward and hexproof, not the uncounterable ones, but Nowhere to Run negates hexproof. So there are answers, but against the decks that don't have answers, this is a lot of pressure that is very hard to beat. And then we have pretty much these stereotypical Azorius Auras cards with a weird amount of counter spells. 4 No More Lies, pretty good, pretty affordable. 4 Entity Trackers, pretty good in this deck. With that, we're just going to run it up and we'll see how it goes. All right. First here, I think we can definitely keep this for sure. We have like a weird turn order. We're going to do it though. We're going to play this and play this out. And unless we draw like the protection spell, we're probably going to play this third, even though it does enter tap, and that is a little annoying, but play this land. Now we have kind of our pump spell, but also our counter spell available against blue white. We don't really know exactly what matchup it is. Jeskai Control Authority. That's fine with us. We'll just win with 1 creature. Sure. And there's the protection spell. I can't really do this right now, so we need to play this for blue. Trigger on this. Knock our opponent for 4. I guess I could have played this, but I feel like holding up this No More Lies makes more sense because I want to be able to counter a split up. I'm going to take that away from them. They're going to look at 3, look at another 3. That's going to help them find a lot of the cards that they need. We'll play this because it does take the damage away, but it gives us, because we add a counter here, right? So they gain 1, we get the counter back, so it like kind of does whatever. Now we get to attack for 5. Put them to 11. Against hexproof, not indestructible, so this No More Lies is very important. This is what we hope for. Land. Combat. Sure. Pass. Be River Regent. We let that go. Okay. I understand they have a village here, by the way. But if it's a 5-mana board wipe, we can No More Lies. Worst case scenario, that resolves. Worst case scenario, what we get to do is we get to flash this in, and then flash this in on it, draw a card. This goes to 3. And then, like, any good draws is fine. Sure. I have lethal on the board. I have no reason to move. I have no reason to give them any outs. Yeah, alright, cool. Just attack for lethal, I guess. Nice. Alright, we get to go first here. This is a pretty cool hand. We'll keep. We're going to go ahead and play this out. Give it an extra counter off this. Because if this is an aggro matchup, we're going to feel pretty good about playing this, putting a counter here, and then seam ripping something if we needed to. Or we're in a little bit of trouble. Play here. Looks like white's the color we need right now. Put a counter on itself. Go to combat, attack for 2. That's horrifying. I would assume this is like 4-color reanimator. Or this is Venom, which would be sweet. No, or it's Yuna. Like, there's a lot of things it could be, obviously. I think it's Yuna, to be entirely honest. But we're mono white, if you think about it. We're no longer mono white. I think I want to put the entity tracker in on their end step, and I definitely think I'll get the option to. So we're just going to kind of wait. The only real issue is I just don't think I could beat a Yuna that easily. They played their land already, so if they hit or had a surveil land, so they can't really bring anything back here. Flash this in. Now we're looking to pretty much draw as many cards as we can. Yuna's 5. There could be a board wipe coming, so I don't really want to overcommit. We'll play here. Entity tracker is just really strong on its own, so I don't really want to overcommit onto that either. But I do want to put some counters in places. Maybe I'm playing this a bit passive. I shouldn't be. That land hit's pretty huge. We can do 6 here. It seems like a good number. I mean, I doubt Day of Judgment's coming, or whatever the 4-mana board wipe is. I never remember. When you play like Commander and there's a million 4-mana double white like things, but this should be a GG here, I believe. So we go Scavenger into a Shelter, which moves 2 counters. So let's say at minimum it's 8, because obviously we're going to take this away. Shelter goes up to 9, play this, and it goes up 2 more, plus the Prowess trigger, plus we hit a land because we're nuts. So start off here. Doesn't really matter. Oh yeah, it's 2 mana. I forgot that this is a 2-mana card, not 4 mana, because it's from the graveyard. And that's 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. So then we just cast a Shelter. We get there by the counters. We don't really mess this up here. Boom, boom. Draw that extra card, and then we go to combat, and we win with lethal. All right, cool. We take it. Well, I don't think we can keep this one, unfortunately. No blue. Although this is a pretty good card. The problem is 3 of our cards in our hand are not playable, so I think we have to let that go. We keep here, and I guess we turn away. Huh. Honestly, just taking 2 for this and then turning this on is probably better than the starting town, I would say. Go here. Has to be white. We pay 2 life. Now we're kind of ready to start off. It looks like 4-color control. I had to put a guess on it right away. Then we can look to maybe have a No More Lies held up. They don't have a white mana though, which puts like Lightning Helix out of the equation. And Get Lost. I lied. They have a white now. All those options are now available. Which one would you like to take? Stock up. Never mind. Ignore everything. Ignore it all, actually. That's actually the best draw. We want to counter on this creature, draw a card. Just draw a card. That's a pretty good land to actually have. I mean, that just playing this land just draws us a card, which is huge. I do think I want them to use their mana, so I will flash this in, even if it gets countered. I think. Yeah, I think it's too good not to play. Obviously, this could walk into a counter spell, but I just don't think we have a choice. Sure. Well, now I kind of want my mana to be open. Go here. Make it really annoying. Let's attack for 5. Put 2/1/1 counters. Maybe I should have done that first when I didn't really need to draw the card. Maybe that's a better choice. Yeah. We do obviously get blown out by the 4 mana card, which I clearly think they have enough for. It's just this. Blue, white, blue, I guess white. Maybe it should have been a scavenger, but if it's the card I think it is, I don't think it matters here. Yeah, uncounterable. They don't have to pay the ward. It can't be countered. There's just so much that does to us. Like, that card is the ultimate card against us. There's just not a lot we can do. I'm going to make it hard to target this, though, I think. I don't really need to move anything out of our way against this matchup. That card's just unbeatable. That's what we were hoping last turn, to be honest with you. Down to 2. Pass. They would have just used another, but they would have just used another one of these if they had it. So they drew it this turn. Watch, they won't play a land, yeah. Kind of figured as much. For each enchantment you control. I think I just hold it and just pass. They have so much removal in their deck, and that only going to 3 means like every removal spell in their deck answers it. I just think we're out of time. Yeah, now there's the Helix. They're up to 8. I mean, if there's a card to get us through, it's this one, to be honest. It does get around like normal no more lies. Or 3, yeah, no more lies. They have it 3 steps ahead. Yeah, I'm moving on. They hit the exact cards that they needed exactly when they needed them. So, you know, it is what it is. Other than the Day of Judgment, every card they played was the correct card to have in that exact moment. They were able to no more lies our flash creature. They were able to defeat our hexproof or like our ward creature that they couldn't beat any other. No other card other than this one gets it, I think, that I can think of that's like actually played. They Helix, they pay the ward, we no more lies it, and it's just like we get through regardless, right? Well, this doesn't seem like the hand I can keep. All right, I'll just here, Arena, you got it. Like I guess I'll move on. It's fine. I want you to know that this just came after a game that I had 9 lands in play, and I ripped every land in a row, and I lost to somebody stuck on 3 lands. This immediately happens. I'm good, bro. I'll just move on. All right, already the same amount of lands as I had last game in 14 cards, so we'll keep. Even though this is kind of a scary spot to be. Oh, look. Is Arena giving it back? My opponent mulled twice. They didn't leave like me. I didn't even bother going to 5. Some fights aren't worth it. Good game, I guess. Like, you say that, but I feel like you're gonna slam me, to be honest. Blue here. Back for 2. I am excited about this, though. I do want this to be a cool card to be playing. Here. Please no counter spell. Still think white's the better option. They have a nowhere to run. Like, great on you. Like, perfect hit. You know what I mean? Or a long goodbye. My bad. Like, equally as good. Not many people play this, and if they do, it is at most a one of. Oh yeah, here we go. This is how it begins. While they're tapped out, we're going to get this in so we can block. Yeah. You need to rip our protection spell, though, to be honest with you. Pass? Maybe? What does pass here? Oh, yes. Look, I can draw the same cards you can. Isn't it a fun game? Creature, sure. One of us, however, get to do a lot more stuff than the other this turn. I'll promise you that. I don't really want my trackers to be much more of a target than they already are, so let's do this. Shelter, take the Death Toucher. Up, up. Alright. I will do this, however. Seems pretty good thus far, I'll tell you that. Combat. These ones. You're just taking 12. Alright, bro. Sure. I'll gladly trade one. You can Kaito that out. I will gladly take away a creature. They are on a mult of 5, to be fair. They've played very well to this point. Long goodbye. Backbreaking. But here's my Weaver. Once again, just to get hit by the other card that can answer it, which is funny. All right, we get to go first here. I think I want to play Anchorage almost first, but... Man, this mana in this hand right now is a little weird. We'll keep. Yeah, I think it's just Anchorage. We just have to take one turn. It's just weird how the hand curves out. Here. Into here. Go ahead. Then we can play Valgavoth's Lair and have a No More Lies held up unless my opponent casts a Long Goodbye or another way. It's just uncounterable. Although this should tell us a little bit about what we're up against. White is predominantly our color. Put a counter here. Why not spread the love a little bit? All of our stuff has flash and I have protection, so I might as well just do it that way. Other thing too is this has prowess, so a situation where like a nowhere to run comes in, we can flash this in. It'll get a prowess and then we can put a counter on it. Unstoppable Slasher. We will just counter that and exile it. Perfectly happy doing that. Then now we have this weird part where obviously I could upgrade this, but that doesn't make much sense. So we're going to go Feather here, but put the counter on our little token here. Then we're going to go to combat. Again, dividing the attention, right? This looks way larger, but they're both 3/3s. And this having prowess is good, and this being able to put permanent counters on things are good. You have to make these targets about equal when it comes to attractiveness on the removal, right? Bloodletter comes in. Now it's just quick math. I don't really have to cast anything here. I can cast both on my turn, and that should be enough to do it. Okay. I mean, we go Shelter, which might just get him to concede right away. I'm going to say it's enough regardless because this extra counter going to go. That's 9. But with all that, I mean, just an incredibly quick game to win. Very nice. Bonus first here. We'll keep though. Our hand's solid. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. Seems pretty good. Could obviously get this out. I would like to go 1 into 2 if our matchup makes sense for it. But if I have to go this into this, I will. It's obviously a bit more annoying that way. All right. Now it's weird. I don't know. All right. Walk it out into a burst lightning. No. Whoa. All right. Deal. You're a 2/2. Hold up or no more lies. The card that we're playing? Like, fair enough, dude. Genuinely, fair enough. I'm just surprised. Ball of Lightning. Not a card on my bingo sheet for the year of 2025. No blocks, of course. Rip. Not bad. We can just do 2 here. We can always hold this back because blocking it for 1. We're not like... We do play Shelter by Ghost, but we're not really a life gain deck by any means. Look at the red player. But here we do get to like throw this block, right? Which obviously feels pretty good. Because we didn't do something silly like attack with it. Here to here. Play this. Team rip. Tracker, I never want to block at any point in this game, so we're going to put its power up a little bit. And then these both can attack. And now we're close. Again, 1 damage here for the rest of the game is significantly better than taking 3 every turn. I don't care that I can't gain life. Just the nature of the beast. Enchantment. Enter. Trigger my stuff. Go counter here. Another land. Maybe not our favorite draws. Could be a Witch Stalker Frenzy. This can't be blocked. It can block though. Okay. Go ahead. 6, 7 lands for mono red. This is literally the payback game, you know? I just wish less of these type of games happened. You know what I mean? I want to keep this hand. I know I only have 1 creature. However, we want to play this because of this card. And the one time I played it, it got long goodbyed. Which means they didn't even have to pay the ward, which was really frustrating. Having the second island with our hand right now is kind of bad. It looks like we're against Jeskai control. Which would put me on the fact that... It would put me on the fact that they don't have like a long goodbye or the 4-color spell that's uncounterable. But they could still surprise me. I believe it's Jeskai. Stock up. Sure. Deal. Would love one more land here so I could feather to kind of like start progressing my plan a bit. They have to discard the hand size, so most likely they do have like a Day of Judgment coming. Lightning Helix and things like that look really awful into this. That's why like this card's so good. Make them pay everything and then punish them. This is just 4 here. Although with the no more lives, we might just want to rescue anyway. Our mana just sucks, dude. Our mana's so bad right now that I can't overcommit. That's a pretty good card to have to overcommit with. There's 4 more. Because now, like, I can flash this in and have good protection, right? I'm not sure I care. I think, honestly, having the maps is better than not, and I think flashing this in is better than anything else. I think this card alone is better on its own than, like, this card is. But we will see. Yeah. Moving out. Give them something to do. This is a card to kind of have to answer. If I had a white mana, this game, I think full stop was over. I just don't. All right, they're going to take the time. Like, I mean, 2 white mana, obviously, but giving me the card that allows me to draw whenever I play something onto it seems a bit wild. Hey, nice. White. Pay 2 life. Now I can just kind of get a little bit freaky with it. I don't know why I said it that way, but I did. That I don't care about. I do think I will play a rescue because we're looking kind of for an ethereal armor here. And I get to hold up my no more lives, right? So it's not like a big deal. Especially if they give me an out to do it. Here. We're ready. We're walking them into a thing that they basically have to do here. That's their one of. I would assume they're just playing the list Ash played today. Alright, so if every one of these maps hit, I can do it, I guess. Did not. Started by not hitting. Nice! Here comes all the lands. We're right there. We're right there to win. That's about how it works. And now I won't. Actually, do I have enough? Can I still win with that? I think so, right? One. I mean, I could put him to 1, I think. Right? If I play Seam Rip, that's 1, 2, 3. Man, that's so annoying. But I'm just short. I think put him to 1 makes a lot of sense. But I wish I would have played this at some point. But I think getting him to 1 is just that good, though. I just didn't know if I really... And that's the thing. One more of those maps hit, we win the game. Which is just tough. It is what it is, obviously. But I think we can potentially get there. A stock up's obviously great news for us. That means we got like a chance to play this, and maybe this. And then they have to kind of walk into a board wipe, which then gives us maybe a protection spell in time, but who knows? Obviously, Lightning Helix doesn't remove this. Get Lost that they've already used 2 of, which is like a 3 or 4. If it's a board wipe, they're fully tapped out, which again means playing that would have been sweet. Yeah, I would say I wasn't trying to slow roll you. I was just like, I had to double check the math after that, like especially after yesterday, you know. But we'll take it. This is to put me in glorious diamond. Oh, nice. We will keep. Here, white, pay to player scavenger. Call it a day. Obviously, a second white mana here would be best with our overwhelming white hand, but well, that's not the worst. I think I'm going to be mana efficient and play this instead. This also can draw a card, get really large. With the Shelter by Ghost on it, it getting large is pretty good. Oh, especially here, right? Oh, and the white mana? Oh, let's go. This guy is cooked. Give me that. We attack. We hit. It's unblockable. We put 2/1/1 counters on it. Now it's a 4/3. Then we get to protect it. We can put other things on it. Again, it can't be blocked, so they can't do that thing with like Screaming Nemesis where they set it behind and then go, well, what are you going to do about it? Like, I can block with this. And it's like, well, no, you can't. And that's what they try to do. Reading the card, kids, explains the card. I mean, I'm just overloading here. This is 8 life that they can't block this one, dog. We'll take a draw here. We'll pass. And it's going to be an overwhelming victory, I think, for us. At 27, they're at 10. They can try to remove this. It's got ward 2. They get lost. We then rescue it and protect it. And we're fine. It is all good for us. I might even block. I genuinely just don't know how we lose here. Sure. That also can't block, but that's fine, obviously. Gotta do what you gotta do. Sure. Yeah. No. Again, there's nothing to lose here. Yeah, and we get there. And that's for Diamond. I didn't think Azorius Auras was going to be the deck that got me there, but I've been playing quite a bit less than I normally would be playing on any kind of, especially any season a new set comes out. It's just the problem is Spider-Man came out, not a whole lot changed, so we just didn't really get to do what we normally would. But that's okay. On to the outro. All right, so here we are with another lower to the ground deck today, where I've been playing a bit of the lower to the ground decks in general, like playing Lightning yesterday, which was very exciting and very fun. But today we actually are focusing primarily on a card that came out in the Spider-Man set, being our Wonder Weave Aerialist. I do not know what the card is called for like actual Spider-Man. But either way, this card just being a 2-mana 2/2 with ward is pretty cool. And to see the modifications or the modified ability actually in action on a card that we can easily trigger in a deck like this. Typically the modified things were like a 3-mana creature that didn't really do anything on ETB, required you to already have something modified and somehow it live, right? And then if it hits a player, it does something, or if it attacks, it gets something. But typically it was so hard to have that ready, and then that 3-drop just gets removed. But here we get it on a 2-drop that doesn't do anything on ETB, but as a 2-drop that's a bit more acceptable. But it does just come generically with a ward 2, and when it's modified it has flying, which is cool. But that just makes a card like Shelter by Ghost so much more annoying for anybody. Because a 2-drop having ward 4 on turn 3, and it's getting larger by the moment if you have a scavenger in play. If it's like scavenger into this, into a shelter, flying creature that's modified already, now it's probably dealing 4 damage, gaining 4, and then you might even have an ethereal armor on it, and then you're just talking about an absurdity amount of like toughness on it and power, and then it's just like really impossible to remove unless you obviously have those cards that are uncounterable, like a long goodbye or the inevitable defeat, which is obviously kind of our counter when it comes to this deck, especially inevitable defeat. That card in general is just going to be a hard card for us to deal with because rescue doesn't really, well, rescue I guess works because of hexproof, but nowhere to run also makes it hard because again that takes away hexproof and ward. So there are cards that can beat this deck that you have to be kind of like cognitive, because if you're not, you're just going to lose to them, right? But I think it turned out well. We had a very good win rate with it. I think we ended up, what did we end up going with the deck? Had a couple of weird games, as we saw the one I just conceded on the mall. But we went 7-3, and I would argue that 2 of those were very like weird variance games. But yeah, I mean, we'll take that. I think we'll take that anytime we can. So that's pretty dope. But with that said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.